Hello, hello. It's Julie Davison and Susan LaCroix. Welcome to Sunday Stamping with Susan and Julie. We're so excited that you're joining us for our weekly video series where we share Stampin' Up! Products using the same products. Mom and I share on Zoom because we live 2 states away in Michigan and Illinois. But actually, we are together in person right now on Sunday, October 23rd. Doesn't look like we're in person because we've pre-recorded this. Mom is here in Illinois visiting, and I cannot wait for your visit, Mom. I'm so excited. So, why don't you tell us a little bit about your visit?
Okay, so we're excited to come too. We're going to get to watch Elise play a basketball game and just spend some time with them. The reason we're pre-recording this instead of doing this together and then getting it, live on Sunday is the kids have off school Thursday and Friday. So we decided that it would be nice if we didn't have to worry about next Sunday's video and we could just take the kids to Curtis Orchard, and there's another place that Julie wants to go with a big, nice corn maze.
Yep.
So we decided that we were just going to get this video in the can, as they say, and
Mhm.
let it drop. We'll schedule it, and then we can just have some family time. And then
Yeah.
once the kids go back to school next Monday, we're going to buckle down. We have some things that we want to do that we've been talking about and planning. So we want to just concentrate on that when the kids go back to school on Monday. So,
Yes, I'm really proud
yeah.
of us because we actually created a schedule, which we usually don't do. Usually we're last minute, like, what are we doing? But we planned out like 2 months of video topics and what we wanted to do. And so I think, if working ahead a little bit, I think having a plan, we're really going to be able to be really productive when the kids are in school and make use of our time. But we've got so much going on this weekend with you coming in. And then, like you said, going to Curtis Orchard, going to the Hardy's Reindeer Ranch where there's a corn maze. Claire's last football game and marching band show is Friday
Oh,
night. So we are going to be busy, busy, busy running around all weekend with the kids. And like you said, just enjoying some family time and all
yeah.
our favorite fall things to do.
Especially
And
apple cider donuts.
yes, oh, Curtis Orchard has
Oh,
the best. The best
yeah.
donuts. That's what they're known for. We never ever go and like pick apples or pick pumpkins, but they have such a great cafe and a gift shop and other things on the weekends to do. And so it is an annual tradition. We always go every year when you guys
Yeah,
are
we
here,
do.
and we go and we visit and we do the hayride and do all the other little fun things. So it's gonna be so
Yeah,
much
it's
fun.
gonna be fun. We can't wait. We really can't.
And then tomorrow, Monday, we'll have to buckle down
Yes.
and really get to work. I'm excited about what we've
Yeah.
got planned. So you'll have to stay tuned. Make sure to subscribe to our channels so you don't miss out on our future Sunday stamping videos that are coming up. You can catch us every Sunday at noon Central Time, 1 p.m. Eastern Time. And even though we pre-record our videos, they always premiere live. And so we would love for you to join the live chat and chat with us while the video is airing.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite parts about sitting through the premiere is,
Yes.
connecting with people who are, from
Mhm.
all over the country. We kind of chat about where we are, what the weather's like, and what we're doing. And so it's a lot of fun. So we hope you'll join us.
I love it too. I think sometimes when I do a live video, like it's hard to kind of keep up with the comments. So I like that we pre-record so that we can just
Yeah.
sort of like sit back and relax and just chat with everybody and enjoy the videos. So we
And
hope
then
you like it too.
self-critique ourselves,
Oh,
as it's like, oh, I should have
no,
done this. Oh, I should have said this.
I
Oh well.
don't. I hope you don't either. I think
All
I
right.
think that's the beauty of our videos is that we're just us. We're real and we just like we don't pretend if we make a mistake, that's what you get. You just get
That's
us.
right.
You get real.
Yeah, this is so true.
Well, let's be real. Let's get
All
started
right.
with our video today and show off the product that we are featuring.
Sounds like a plan. All right. So this week we're going back to the annual catalog, and we are using Trimming the Tree, which is on page 43 of the catalog. And the reason that I kind of wanted to do this is when the catalog came out, and I thought, oh, that's a cute set, but I don't need it. I don't need it. I'll wait to see what's in the next mini catalog, kind of a thing. And then in September, Stampin' Up! Came out with dies that went with this, and I was really tempted, but I thought, nope, nope, I'm going to use some self-control here, and I'm not going to get this. Well, when September ended, and I was again perusing the annual catalog, just looking. I thought, I have an idea. So my idea, let me get the stamp set out here. My idea is to get the stamp set, create some cards, and have a class using Trimming the Tree. And then I thought, I'll buy a second one. And so I don't have the class scheduled yet, but some lucky stamper, if you come to my class, is going to walk home with one of the Trimming the Tree stamp sets. So keep your eyeballs peeled for dates. More to come on that. But let's go back to the stamp set. Sorry. It's a photopolymer stamp set. There's 15 stamp sets in here. There's the trees, obviously. This is like a two-step stamping, and some garland, and some scallops, and a tree stand, some ornaments, and a star for the top of the tree, a bow, because I was thinking you could even turn this upside down and put a bow on it, and it'd be a little gift that you could
What?
put in the
You're
tree.
genius.
I didn't do that, but I just thought of it.
I love that idea. How smart.
Yeah, well, there we go. Anyways, some greetings to go with it. So anyway, I think it's a fun little set. And the price point I think is a good one, and you can get a lot of cards out of it, as we're
Yeah.
going to show everybody. So yeah, so that is what we're using today. So Julie, are you ready to switch to your desktop?
I am. So I'm going to show you some of the samples that I made ahead of time because, like you, I did not get the coordinating dies when they came out in September, but I did choose this stamp set when I was shopping during the stamp set sale that Stampin' Up had in September. They had a discount on annual catalog stamp sets. And so I've been thinking about this set because I just loved like the simplicity of the Christmas images. And so I decided not to get the dies though, because I knew that they were only good for a couple more weeks at that point. Um, so I made some cards. I'm going to show you. These are my extra samples, but I paired it with the Lights Aglow designer paper. This is a 6x6 paper from the July through December mini catalog. And I just thought that the imagery and the colors would go really well with Trimming the Tree. So I made some cards with the different designer paper pieces and the stamp set. I embossed the star with gold, did a little bit on the inside too. And then I did this one. I stamped those ornaments in the background. Don't look too closely, they're upside down. And and I did the bow instead of the star at the top, and then added some of the festive pearls. And that was a last minute addition after seeing one of your projects, Mom, and realizing I needed a little more bling on the tree. I also added some onto this one where I gold embossed the garland, but I felt like it didn't show up very well. So I just added a few festive pearls to sort of highlight the garland, and then the gold embossed star and a little gold twine for this one. So the colors I'm using are the colors from the designer paper: soft succulent, evening evergreen, and cherry cobbler. So these are my extra samples. Let me show you what we're going to make today. All those cards were kind of simple, but I wanted to really do something fun. And so I got another fun fold for you guys today. And I'm going to first show you the other samples. So I was inspired by a card I recently received from Kimberly Barbish. And this is called a pop-up
Ooh,
book card. I
wow,
know, right?
Julie.
And it reminded me of a card that I had in my stash from Margot Richardson, who swapped this. We did a fun fold at an on stage like a few years ago, and you might have this one, Mom, or maybe at one point you had it. And so Margot also did a book bind, like a not book binding, a pop-up book card, and or book fold card. Her measurements are a little bit different than Kimberly's. It's a little bit smaller, but it's the same idea and the same, sort of the same kind of cutting and scoring, just a little bit bigger dimensions. So these were my inspiration. I used Margot's as a guide to create a cutting template, and we'll link to this in the video description for you so you can check that out. You're going to start with a piece of cardstock that is 5 by 8. And so this is the inside piece. I have some other measurements to share with you, but before I get to those, let's do the cutting and the scoring. So 5 by 8 is the piece for the inside, and you're going to use your paper trimmer. And I'm going to, let's see. I think I'm going to do the cutting first. I debated because when I made my sample, I scored all the way down here, and you really can't see the lines because you cover this up, like, let me show you here. I think Margot scored all the way through on hers too. So like, if you score all the way down, this is going to get covered up with, with this piece. And so you can't really tell that there's score lines at the top and the bottom. But if you want to be, clean and, perfect about it, you would only go all the way through on the 4-inch line. So I'm going to try to do that as we make the card. So I'm starting with the cut lines. So the black lines are the cut lines, and those are going to be 1 inch from each side. So I'm lining up I use the ruler here on the side. If you're left-handed, you can use the ruler over here, but I'm lining that up at 1 inch. And then I'm going to use the ruler on the the arm of the paper trimmer, and I've added a piece of tear and tape here so that you can see the numbers. So that's why it looks white. Actually, maybe it was a piece of cardstock. I've got multiple trimmers. I can't remember. On one of them, I put tear and tape. On one of them, I glued cardstock. So you're going to move the line on your paper trimmer cutting blade. You're going to line that up with the 1-inch mark, and you're going to cut down to the 7-inch mark. Okay, so 1 to 7. And I'm just going to flip it and do the same thing because it's 1 inch from each side. So we're doing those first 2 cutting marks from 1 inch to 7. And so these cutting marks are 1 inch down and 1 inch over. So that's why we can just flip it around interchangeably. Okay, next up, we're going to do some scoring. And we've got some score lines that are going to go in between the cut lines. That's at 1 inch, 1.5, 6.5, and 7 inches. So I'm going to line this up at the 1 inch first, and I'm scoring only between the 1 and the 4 because that's where the cutting line is. So you can see only there, and then moving it to 1.5 and doing the same thing, scoring from 1 to 4. Then we're going to go 6.5, and 7 inches.
The card looks so complicated, and in this part, at least, you're making it look pretty easy.
I think once you break down measurements and have a template to go by, it really is not very difficult. But these cards like this can be very overwhelming, I feel like. So I always try to break things down in simple steps. So the next one is going to be the score line all the way down. This is the 4-inch line. So I'm going to line it up at 4 inches and go all the way down. That's the center. And so then the last score lines are at 2.5 inches and 5.5 inches. And these score lines, I just want to do from the top to the score line or the cut line. And then the same thing on the other side. So with my scoring blade, line up at 2.5 inches. I'm going to go from the top down to 1 inch. And again, I'm just using this line on the blade and going down to the line or the ruler here, and then 4 down to the end. So then I've got my 2 cutting lines. And if, like I said, if you go all the way down, it doesn't matter. You're not going to see because it's going to be covered up anyway. And then 5.5 inches, we're going to do the same thing from the top down to 1, and then from the 4 down to the bottom. And that is all of our scoring and cutting lines.
For the inside.
For the inside, yes. Okay, so like I said, we'll have this linked up in the video description so you can print that out and have that for your reference. And then let me go over some of the other measurements. The main part of the card base is just a regular 5.5 by 8.5 card. I'm using Evening Evergreen, and I scored it in half at 4 1/4. And then I have let's see. What do I have? Oh, this is to stamp the tree, which I've got one die cut, but I'll show you the two-step because I like how that works with the two-step. Then I've got some pieces for the inside, a designer paper and a white piece. Both are 2 by 2.5. And then pieces to layer on that are 2.25 by 2 3/4. We'll have all the measurements for you in the video description. Some other pieces for the front of the card, a 3 3/4 by 5-inch piece of soft succulent, 1 3/4 by 5.5 for the designer paper. I have a die cut. I use the scallop contour dies again to die cut the label, and then a Label Me Fancy punch out for the sentiment. And I just realized that I forgot my ribbon across the rim. But I'm gonna put the rest of the card together, and I'll just show you the finished one for the ribbon. So let's do our stamping really quick. We're going to stamp on we're going to stamp on all the white pieces and the label, and we're using this two-step stamp. So we've got the sort of bold image. This is going to be in soft succulent, and this is on my scrap paper. And then I'm going to do the detail image over the top in evening evergreen. And I would say, like, it doesn't line up perfectly, but some of these, especially at the bottom, kind of you can sort of see the shape of the holes, and you can kind of line it up like that and get it pretty close. So it doesn't fill in every space. I think I'm a little bit off. It doesn't fill in every space, but it does kind of add some color in those areas and those holes. Okay, so then I've got the sentiments for the inside. It's going to say, may your Christmas or may your season be merry and bright. And then apparently I put the stamp away on accident. I got a little too happy cleaning up earlier. I'm going to stamp the sentiment for the label. It says, sending Christmas cheer. And then for the label, like I said, I didn't get the dies, so I did fussy cut the tree. On the label, then, I'm going to add the little tree stand in Sahara sand. I wanted to bring in a neutral that wasn't white to do the label, and so I brought in that same color in the tree stand to kind of tie it in together. The tree is going to go on with some Stampin' Dimensionals. And again, that stand was just right onto the label. So now it looks like the tree is got a little dimension. On the front of the card, I'm going to glue everything down. Putting the soft succulent piece in the center and the designer paper on the left side. Then I'll add the label. I'm just going to do that with some regular Stampin' Seal. And for, well, here's my finished one. I added a little ribbon, the evening evergreen ribbon, behind the label to give it a little something something. So now the inside, here's how that's going to come together. So I'm going to show you how to glue everything so that it it all works out. So we're going to glue our layers together. And I think it's easier to put these on before you do all the folding while everything is flat. So I'm gonna glue those on. The white one on the right side and the designer paper on the left side. Okay, so for this card, we've got the top pieces come out as mountains and the other goes in the center. So we're going to kind of, let's see, these come up. So you're doing like a zigzag fold. This is going to go down. That comes up. And then these, I don't know how to describe it. You fold it like that. And so once you kind of get them pre-scored a little bit, you can use your bone folder and really just sort of reinforce those folds in the directions that you want them. And so the idea is that the entire card will fold flat. You know, it is a little bulky, obviously, since you have like multiple layers of cardstock here. But everything should fold flat in there. So then on the card, let's bring that in here. On the card, then we're going to glue it down. And I find that kind of gluing one side down and then closing it is the way to go. So
Yeah.
we're going to add some glue on, we'll do this side since it's up. And that is the left side. So I'm going to line this up, kind of evenly spacing it. Evenly spacing it from the edges. And then I'm going to put the adhesive on the other side, making sure not to put any in the middle. This is only going on the edges. And then we're going to close our card. And it's important to do this one side at a time because when the card closes, you want it to be able to be flat when it's closed. And so if you just try to line it up like this, you know, if it's not flat, then it might not fold. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
so put the glue on and then you're going to close the card. And I kind of start at the fold and then just like start at the fold and then, you know, rub it over so that it attaches without any wrinkles or bubbles. I'm not sure what happened there, a little tear. But then that's how you have the inside. So again, it's not as hard as it looks. Sometimes these get kind of caught up. So you know it was flat when you put it together. So you just kind of have to fold those down and make sure that it folds. So it is a little bulky of a card. I would say if you're mailing this card, it's probably non-machinable because it is so uneven with so much thickness on one side. But it really is a wow when you open it up.
It sure is, Julie. That is absolutely stunning, both last week and this week. I love this.
I know. I
Wow.
kind of got a fun fold bug going on. And now I feel like whenever I do this, like, then I feel like I have to keep it up and I can't do simple cards. So, like, oh, don't expect this every week, but every now and then I come up with something fun. Well, I
Awesome.
really love the card that you have to share, Mom. Are you ready?
I am. I absolutely am. Okay, so I am also doing a fold, but it's a very simple fold, and it's one I've done lots of times, and probably many of you have as well. I'm starting off with a card base of Evening Evergreen. It's 4 1/4 by 11, and it's scored at 5 1/2 and 2 3/4, or 2 3/4 and 5 1/2. So if you haven't guessed yet, it's an easel card. And I also then brought out, I haven't used these in a while, the Stitched with Whimsy that just leaves like score, you know, fun little curvy intertwined. And there's a bunch of different sizes, as you can see, so you can have a lot of fun with this. But I thought that would just give it needed a little something. And Amy is here this weekend, or right there today, and so she suggested that, and I thought, what a good idea.
I
So anyway,
always forget about those dies. They're so great for just adding a little bit of texture to your card.
yes, I absolutely agree. We also have a piece of real red, 4 inches by 3 3/4. I have a piece of basic white for the inside, which is 5 inches by 3 3/4. And I have another basic white piece that we're going to stamp the tree on, which is 3 3/4 by 3. All right. So, oh, and I have, oh gosh. All right.
Stylish shape.
Stylish shape. Oh my goodness. Okay, so I did a circle. Like it's not on my cutting table, so I just use it all the time. And then I also grabbed a scrap of real red for the decorative circle punch. So that will layer on that to the bottom. So, all right, let's go ahead and get some stamping done. And I'm going to start, I think, with my May Your Season Be Merry and Bright and Evening Evergreen. I have been transferring Evening Evergreen on everything. So
Oh,
yeah, I re-inked it. So that's part of my problem,
oh,
probably.
for sure. But you know what? I have been especially inky this week. I don't know what it is, but I just feel like I've been having ink on my fingers so much.
Ah, yeah. Ah, I have too. I just and it's over everything. I've transferred it onto projects I was working on, and like this tree, I had to do it 2 times. All right, so we're just giving a little bit of just a different shape there for the inside bottom piece, which we'll put on later. All right, let's work on our tree. And I am using, so we're using the same colors again. Evening Evergreen, soft succulent, and I brought out crushed curry for the star on the top. All right, so I'm going to start with, no, actually, I'm going to start with this one. So I'm going to stamp my tree in soft succulent. Julie, that's what you did too, right?
I did. Yeah, these colors are just so perfect for a Christmas tree.
Oh my gosh, yes. I'll have to show you. I did something a little bit different on my one sample that I made that, all right, so I'm going to put this guy down here. And I did something a little bit different, Jay, because you stamped some Evening Evergreen to kind of fill in the white a little bit, as am I going to do here. I think I'm done with this. So before I get my sleeve and my hand in it. All right. So I did this more than once. It does kind of line up. Let me check my fingers. So I tried to kind of like match some of the holes. And then I did it again. And I kind of moved it a little bit.
Oh,
So I kind of moved it just a bit. Just to give it a little bit more. And I'm going to do it one more time.
a little fuller.
Yeah, exactly. But you have to kind of move your green around. So I really like, the more filled in look.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I did there. Let's find our star and our crushed curry. I find it interesting that the star is not real symmetrical. I don't know
Yeah,
that.
it definitely seemed like there was an up and a down.
Yeah, I probably got it wrong. Oh well. All right. So now we're going to put our use this as a mat. We'll bling it up in a little bit. Because it's a tree. And it's big. Oh, you see? Look what I did. I transferred some ink right on there. I gotta find my little eraser.
Oh,
I know.
I almost didn't notice it until you pointed it out.
Oh well.
An
And I did.
opportunity for embellishments.
Good
But now
Lord.
you've got 2 spots. Okay, use some sanitizer. Do you have sanitizer on your hand or a
Somewhere.
white? You got to get that ink off your finger.
Yep, I know. I'll just look at and hey, if Shelly can do it, I can do it.
You'll just lick it off your finger and then watercolor on your card. Watercolor smudges.
Oh dear, dear. I have a little thing I'm going to try to get that. I'll show you the other one. But anyway, so you want to be careful. So there is this other score line here, right? So you want to be careful that you don't put adhesive on here because you want to create the easel. So I just want to make sure I'm doing it on the bottom. So I'm putting a couple of stripes of steel. And I want to line this up because when you send it, when you put it in the envelope, you want it to kind of be even, right? So that
Yeah.
when so this is going to be the easel, right? Okay. So now we're going to take our Merry Christmas, and this is going to be what kind of helps stabilize it. So I'm going to grab some dimensionals. So it really helps to have some dimensionals handy for this. And
Before you put that down, do you want your inside piece?
oh, thank you. Oh, Lord. Yes, I do. Oh, yeah. I'm just a little upset about all that ink on the front of that card.
Oh, you can cover it up with a label on the outside or some ribbon, but I bet you can get it off with a sand eraser.
Yeah, I'm sure I can. It's not that deep on there, so I will definitely do that. All right. So I'm going to put this kind of, because this is a little bit taller than I might normally use, I want it to come down so that when it stands, there you go, right?
Oh, that's so
So
fun. I love
it
that.
is. I love easel cards. All right, so we need to bling this up. Well, actually, I want to get that sand or use my sand eraser, get that off. So here, I put
Shove it aside.
yeah. So I put some of our regular rhinestones on there and some of the
Oh,
red.
nice.
So I got a mixture of that. So it just needed some bling.
I love it. And I love how easy the easel cards are. Like, I feel like you could really do a lot of these cards, for Christmas if
Oh
you're
yeah.
sending a lot of cards. It's easy to duplicate and do like several of.
Yes, it is. Absolutely. And who knows, maybe this will be part of my card class for this.
Ooh, yes.
So there you go. Because they are pretty easy, I think. But it's a
Yeah,
fun little fold. All
I
right.
love it.
So I did another card. So I used Evening Evergreen as my base
Oh,
again. So what I did is I stamped the tree in Evening Evergreen or on the soft succulent. That's how I
oh,
went. Yeah. And then I fussy cut this one as well. And we have a punch that has stars. So I took a star from there. It's a little big, but I think it works. And then I took some of our festive pearls here. And I also cut like a 1/4 inch off here. I like doing that. And then I put like a 1/2 inch strip of the designer series paper, which is from our Brights 6x6 packs.
oh, yeah.
And then I just took some strips of gold metallic foil for either side. And I was gonna emboss that in gold, but I don't know. I didn't know if
I
that was,
like it in the darker green color,
yeah, that's kind of
especially
what
on
I
the
thought.
lighter cardstock. I think it
Yes,
it shows up and reads better in the darker ink.
I agree. That's why I didn't emboss it in gold. But my original intention was, and actually I was gonna emboss it in gold on a piece of white. And this is the postage stamp die, by the way,
Yeah.
or punch. Um, but I didn't know. I thought maybe it was the white just wouldn't really work with it.
I like the soft succulent and I really love the ornaments on the side.
Oh yes, yes. I forgot that I did that. Thank you. There. I
Oh,
don't
that's a
know
good
if
one
I
too,
made it.
Mom.
Yeah.
So
So
you
here
got a
goes.
couple cards designed for your class already.
Oh, possibly. I'm not sure about this one yet. I may change it up a little bit. Not sure. Not sure. Anyway, there we go. That's my project for the day.
Oh, I love it. Let's turn the camera around and we'll show off our projects together. Oh my goodness. I'm so glad that I got trimming the tree. And I think you are too, Mom. These cards are so fantastic. And even though
Yeah.
there's no dies right now to coordinate with them and not a specific designer paper, I think that there's a lot of beautiful things to be made with the trimming the tree stamp
Oh,
set.
absolutely. And we have the host pack of designer series paper too. And so there's some things
Yes.
in there that would also work with this stamp set. So there is a lot. I mean, I'm thinking of like that ornament paper, with this tree,
Yeah.
kind of, yeah.
We got your wheels spinning now.
Absolutely. But I have to clean the table first before I can stamp anymore. It's a hot mess. Oh, well, Julie, I think we did well this weekend. I like this tree, and yeah, yeah, like you said, the wheels were spinning.
Yeah. I too, like I designed the one card the other day and then I sat down today to make the extra samples and it was just coming. Like they don't have to be crazy fancy folds. You can
Mm-mm.
make some really beautiful cards that are clean and simple with a stamp set
Yes.
and they'll be lovely.
Yeah. I actually think that this stamp set was kind of designed for kind of the simple,
Yeah.
easier cards. So, you don't always have to get the huge suite and do everything, because I think just stamps, inks, and paper is
Yes.
really all you need. If you have a few embellishments to throw on there, that would be fine too. But yeah. All right. Well, excuse me.
Oh,
Little
well,
tickle in
thank
my
you
throat.
for tuning in.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you for tuning in this week. Be sure you subscribe so you don't miss out. We're going to have some fun videos coming up where we're filming in person together. So make sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on those.
Yes. And until next Sunday stamping with Susan and Julie, have a wonderful week, and we will see you next Sunday. Bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody. Bye, Mom. Love you.
Bye, Jay. Love you too.